So welcome to this video. My name is Alex. Now I need to be really direct with you in this video because I've been dropping very subtle or some maybe not so subtle hints for several years in my YouTube videos. And the reason I've been doing that is because it's really almost preposterous to stand up in front of a camera and claim that you are the second coming of Christ. It really is a ridiculous thing to do because many people have done it before, made fools of themselves, and so it's not the kind of thing I've ever felt like I want to do. And I'd rather share the information with you that God has shown me, share the light that I've seen of God, the light I've seen in God, and share that with you and share the messages that God has given me. I'd rather do that than stand here and say, hey, look at me, I'm someone special, because I don't think I'm someone special. I'm not. The truth is, I don't think anything about myself. My mind is trained on God. I want to make sure that I'm treading very clearly in the middle of the path, which is the path of light that God has laid out for me. So that's my focus. That's where my mind is. That's where my thoughts are. I don't sit down thinking, oh, I'm someone special, I've got to tell everybody how special I am. However, as I said, I've got to be direct with you. And God has been showing me over the years that I do have this significant role. Now remember, we are all actors in a play. This world is a stage and we are all actors. So some of us have roles that seem like the leading role, some of us have a role which may seem like a supporting role, or there are lots of extras, it seems. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what role you've got, because we are all the same. We are all actors. We are all identical. We are all children of God, and we all have the same thing inside of us. Some people have a more predominant role in this world play. You know, you see people who seem like the most important people in the world, leaders of countries, very, very powerful, important-looking people. However, they get puffed up with their own importance and they forget humility and they forget that they are just an actor. So for me, humility is the most important characteristic of any human being, because a humble heart is a heart which can be filled with the truth. It's as simple as that. When you're humble, then you can receive truth, you can receive information, you are open, your ears are open, your mind is open and your heart is open. So for me, it's very, very important to be as humble as I possibly can, a humble person, so that I can hear what other people are saying to me. And so I don't get puffed up with any ideas of self-importance. So it's very hard to marry that humility with information when God is telling you that you have this role to play, almost like the central role, the role that everybody's waiting for, the second coming of Jesus Christ. Now again, I know this sounds preposterous, and I'm not here trying to convince you. All I'm trying to share with you, I'm speaking from my heart, is that God has shown me many, many things. For example, do you remember the tetrad of blood moons? It was a very, very rare celestial event. I think it was in 2015. So basically there was this series of blood moons, full moons, and there were blood moons, and they all occurred on Jewish feast dates. So the Jewish calendar is like God's calendar, and the Jewish feasts are God's way of revealing information to us. And there was these four blood moons in a row, dating, I think, between 2014 and 2015, and it was one of the rarest celestial events that there has ever been. And they all fell on the Jewish feasts. And the last one was on the 28th of September. I believe it was 2015. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But 2015, the last blood moon appeared. The last blood moon occurred on. Now I'm going to forget the Jewish feast. Was it the Feast of Tabernacles, Feast of Trumpets? I'm sorry, I've forgotten. But it occurred on the 28th of September, which was my wife's birthday. Now, the whole world, it was on mainstream news, was saying, what is going to happen? This is, because it was very obviously a very, very rare event, and it occurred dead on these Jewish feasts. So everyone was expecting some sign from God And there has been no rarer celestial event in the last millennium, I believe, than this. And everyone was waiting. Something is going to be revealed. What is it? Many people were thinking that Christ would return on that day, the 28th of September, the final day of the blood moon. But nothing seemed to have happened. It's like the days and weeks following, it's like, oh, okay, well, what was that all about? Well, on the 28th of September, my wife's birthday, 2015, and I was outside, as I normally am after my children have gone to sleep, under the stars, talking to God, praying, meditating. And it's very difficult for me to put into words what happened to me, but God took over, completely took over. And, and anything I say, any words I try and use to illustrate this to you are going to fall well short of what the actual experience was actually like. But he took over. He took over and he told me, okay, this is who you are. This is your role. And you're going to be speaking on a national platform, an international platform. And a lot of people, millions and millions of people are going to be listening to you, and you need to choose your words very carefully because people will be scrutinizing you. And so this is your role. Your role is to be this world, world teacher, I suppose. Now, I don't like the phrase world teacher because it sounds very much like the United Nations, Maitreya, blah, blah, blah. And I really dislike the United Nations because they're a Luciferian organization and they are there to deceive the world. Luciferian, the United Nations it has a theosophical spiritual belief system about this world teacher who will come, the Maitreya, and he'll be Christ for the Christians, he'll be Buddha for the Buddhists, he'll be the Imam Mahdi for the Muslims, he'll be the Bodhisattva, he'll just be the one leader that all the religions have been waiting for. Now for me, I have a strong distaste for the United Nations and this particular teaching because I know it's a teaching of deception. And the world leader that they're talking about is actually the Antichrist, who will seem to be the one that everyone's waiting for, but actually he's a deceiver, and that's the Antichrist. And I've made a lot of videos about the Antichrist, and I know exactly who the Antichrist is, and I've made many in-depth videos revealing the identity of this very famous man, a famous Hollywood actor, who is slowly but surely rising to power, will become American president within a few years, just a few years. So this experience on the 28th of September, the final tetrad of the blood moon, was breathtaking. I mean, my jaw dropped with God showing me this. It's not like I was sitting there thinking, yes, I'm the one, I can't wait to tell everybody how great I am. That's not my nature. By nature, I am a quiet person who likes to stand back, who likes just to see good things unfolding. And I don't want to be responsible. I don't want people to think, oh, you're great, you've made me happy, or you've solved my problems. I just like to see God at work and step back and just enjoy seeing God at work and enjoy seeing God changing people's lives and healing people's hearts and bringing more light. So it's not my nature to stand center stage and say, hey, everybody, look at me, because that also attracts a lot of negative attention. I really dislike negative attention because I have good intentions. I only want the best for everybody, even people who are angry or hateful, or I only want the best for everybody, no matter who they are, no matter what they've done, no matter how twisted or dark their hearts may be. I want the best for everybody. So it's painful to be criticized. It's painful for people to be unkind to you when you're actually trying to help them. And so for the past 15, 20 years, all I've wanted to do is share the knowledge, the light that God has given me with others, with the aim to help them. I just want to help people because we're all seeking the light. We're all seeking illumination. We're all seeking healing and freedom. And it's so good seeing that happen. It's so good seeing seeing people turn towards the light. So that's how I feel. That's what I want for other people. So it's not like I'm standing here with this egoic desire to be someone special and for you to agree with me and say, oh yes, you're the one. That's not why I'm making this video. I'm making this video because God has put it on my heart to make this video. God is telling me to stop being subtle. Stop beating around the bush. Stop hinting and intimating that I might be this, I might be that, and just say it outright. I am the person who has been chosen for the role. I'm the human being, I'm just a human being, but this human being has been chosen for the role of bringing the brightest light, God's light, but bringing the brightest light into the world. So when light comes into the world through a human being, it comes in the guise, or in the, how can I say, it comes in the form of intelligence, it comes in the form of energy, it comes in the form of power, it comes in the form of deep positivity, and of course love and compassion and empathy. But that light, when it takes human form, it needs a clean and clear vessel. So for the past 20 years, I've been nutritionally healing and teaching nutritional healing, purifying my body, purifying my heart, because the more I do that, the more connected to God I feel. You could say it's very selfish, because it feels very good to purify your heart, purify your body, because you can receive more light. You're an empty vessel, you're a cleaner vessel. So for the past 22 years, I've been cleansing and purifying my body and my mind. And I have a very simple and pure diet. I eat mostly raw food. I have fresh wheatgrass juice every morning, and I don't eat certain things, processed food, wheat, dairy, so on and so forth. I just keep my food simple and natural, but I also put these things into my diet like spirulina, chlorella, and fresh wheatgrass juice, which is just the best, for the purposes of keeping myself clean. And the reason I want to keep my body clean and alive and fresh and vital is because it keeps me connected to God. And when I'm really connected to God, not only do I feel wonderful, not only do I feel inspired, energized, clear-headed, positive, joyful, but I also have more to give. I can be a better servant. I can be a better vessel. I can be a better vehicle for God's light, because we are all vehicles for God's light, whether we like it or not. Now, we can either resist that, we can either resist our calling, or resist our destiny, or resist our purpose. Our purpose is to house the light of God. So we can resist that and say, no, I'm not interested in that. I just want to enjoy the pleasures of life, just eat all the foods I want and watch all the things I want to watch, and I just want to enjoy the world. I don't want to be here for anybody else. I don't want to serve God. I don't want to shine a light into the world. So you can resist your purpose, resist your destiny if you want to, but it's to your detriment. And so I learned this a long time ago, that it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid to turn away from what God is calling you to do and just do what feels good. But actually the much more intelligent thing to do is to fall in line with what God is asking you to do. And He wants us to become healthier. He wants us to become cleaner, purer, more forgiving, less angry, less judgmental, less in our heads, less lost in our thoughts, but more in our heart, more embodied, so we can feel strong, because God's power is powerful, surprisingly, and we are meant to be vessels of God's power. So we need to be in our body, not just in our mind, but we're supposed to feel God's power and then express that power through our creativity, through our joy, through any way we want to. But it's not expressed through here, it's expressed through here, it's expressed through our heart and through our body, through our actions, and of course through our words. Those words need to come from our heart, not just from our head, not just from all the things we've learned, all the things we've read, all the spiritual wisdom we think we have. Those words have got to come from where God dwells, from our heart. And so the closer we come to our own heart, the more we become familiar with our own heart, the more our words come from a deeper place. Our words can come from a place where God speaks directly. We don't have to think. We don't have to carefully measure our words and say the right thing. We can just speak candidly and honestly because we're human. We've all got a heart and we all know, we all have wisdom. All of us have wisdom. Now the truth is that the more you surrender to God, the more wisdom you will have. The more you give your body and your heart and your mind to God for His purposes, the more wisdom and light you will convey to others. So that's what I've been doing for the past 22 years, is purifying myself, giving myself more, making myself more available, physically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, whatever. Making myself more available, more empty for God so He can use me. So God has made it clear over the years that He really wants to use me. Now, like I said, I'm not wanting a special role. I don't want to be someone special. I just want to communicate what God has shown me. That's all I want to do, because it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so liberating. It's what every human heart needs to hear. I can't express it all in words. This is why I make dance videos, because there is a joy that God wants us to feel, that we need help generating that joy, kind of turning on the switch, turning on the light. We need help to do that, and words aren't enough. So I make these dance videos to encourage viewers like you to get moving, to generate the joy, because joy comes from God. Joy is God's greatest gift. When your heart is overflowing with joy, there is nothing greater, I promise you. No love, no compassion, no empathy, nothing is as luminous and bright as the joy that God puts in your heart when you give your heart to Him and you celebrate, you praise, you celebrate, you dance. And that joy is God. That joy comes from God. Joy can't come from anywhere else. It is pure God, and it's God's greatest gift. And my own personal observation about that joy is that, in fact, that joy, well, I'll talk about that in another video. I won't go into it here. But this is why I make videos about movement and dance, because it's not all cerebral. We're not cerebral creatures. We are creatures of energy. And energy flows through us non-stop. But if we disconnect from that energy and we get caught up in this very stagnant and angular, structured realm of thought, very, very cold really, and structured and angular, and limited and inflexible, and we get stuck in that realm. And pretty much the whole world is stuck in that realm, and you see the world, you see reality through a certain lens, and it's very limited, and it's very controlling. It makes us want to control other people and tell other people where they're going wrong and make other people do certain things and speak in certain ways. It makes us more controlling. When we live in that realm, we become a more controlling person. But when we come back to our heart and our body and we feel the power of God, we feel the life force of God, we feel the light, the joy in our hearts, all we want to do is give that to others. All we want to do is encourage other people to allow that to arise within them. That's all we want to do. You know, children are like that. They want to share everything. It's like, oh wow, did you see that, Mum? Or oh great, try this. This is amazing. You know, when we have an amazing experience in our life, we want others to have it as well, because we are innately giving creatures. We want to share. So my passion, my only passion, is to share what God has shown me, which is not information. It's the joy. It's the joy that He's given me. It says in Nehemiah in the Bible, the joy of the Lord is your strength. And if you want to be strong, and you need to be strong, by the way, because we're in a very serious spiritual battle here, and you need strength. If you're going to survive, if you're going to come through this, you need strength. And it's the joy of the Lord which is your strength. It's the joy which empowers you. It's the joy which makes your heart strong, like a fortress. Only joy. You need that, and that's why I focus on these videos. I call them Dance Rapture videos. I focus on sharing these videos because they elicit joy within you. Really uplifting, positive music, and they elicit joy, and they get that joy flowing through your body. When you dance, the joy flows through your heart, and it cleanses and washes clean your body. All the toxins, all the spiritual toxins, all the negativity that comes from here but permeates through our body and into our cells, joy washes that clean. So joy is like a spiritual bath. It comes from our heart and it flows through our veins. So joy is really important. In fact, it's the most important thing, which is why I focus so much on making these videos, Dance Rapture videos. So I encourage you, I implore you to participate. Look at the videos. I have a playlist called Dance Rapture. Participate, and then you'll understand why I go on about this, why it's so important. Because we think we know everything. You know, we read spiritual texts, and I have to tell you here that I think the Bible is a very, very, very important book, and I believe everyone should read it. So I'm not going to criticize the Bible in any way whatsoever. You know, my wife is a very biblical person. She loves the Bible. She makes videos about the Bible. She reads it regularly throughout the day, and I think the Bible is the most important book on the planet. So I implore you to read the Bible. I'm not going to criticize the Bible. What I am going to say is that we read these texts, spiritual texts, it could be the Bible or any other, and then we think we understand what God is saying, or we think we understand what's going to happen in the future. We think we understand things, and that's the illusion. Knowledge is an illusion. Perception, when we perceive something with our own eyes, see it with our own eyes, that's truth. Then you're able to speak with authority. Having seen, experienced, perceived a reality with your own eyes, then you can speak with authority. But if you've read about something in a book, then you can't speak about it with authority. You can speak about the words on the page. You can say, yes, the book says this. But we think we know something because the book tells us. So we think, oh, I know it now, and I can speak with authority about this because the book has told me about it. However, especially in terms of biblical prophecy and what's going to unfold in the future, we think that because we've read it in the book, then it's going to happen exactly according to this picture that we have in our mind. So we read about a prophecy about the future, and those words create a picture in our mind about, for example, let's take this, the coming of Jesus in the clouds with all his angels, with great power and glory. That description of the rapture in the Bible has given millions upon millions of people a picture of the rapture, and they think that when Jesus returns it's going to look just like this, and if Jesus appears in any other way, well, it's not the rapture. It can't be. Jesus is going to appear just like this, and it's going to look just like this picture I have in my mind because I trust that picture. But that picture is come from words you've read and words you've interpreted in a book. Now, nothing in the future, nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, is going to occur according to some picture that we have in our mind. Any picture you've formed in your mind about the future is erroneous, and the future is not going to occur according to your picture, because the future is completely out of our control in terms of it's so alive, it's so spontaneous, it's so incomprehensible that it's never going to occur according to some words or according to a picture you have in your mind. Never. And so I know it might upset a lot of Christians if I say, well, you know, maybe Jesus isn't going to appear in the actual sky with all his angels, with great power and glory. Now, I'm not saying he isn't. I'm not telling you for sure he isn't. Because what do I know? You know, but the likelihood is that it is not going to occur exactly according to that picture. Now, as you know, the Bible is a very metaphoric book. It's very symbolic. And so this idea of Jesus coming in the clouds, great power and glory, and that every eye shall see him, could also be metaphoric. Now this is where it's good to keep your mind open and be humble, because what I'm saying could be true. I'm not telling you it is true. I'm saying it could be true that this image of Jesus coming back could be metaphoric. For example, the idea of him coming in the clouds, or the clouds could be in our own mind, in the sky, because the sky is often referred to, the sky is often used as a metaphor for our own mind in our thoughts. Our thoughts are like the clouds, and the sun shines above the clouds, which is God's presence in our mind. And so the clouds, which Jesus is going to appear in, could be our own mind. And everyone will see him. Every eye shall see him, because he will appear, he will show himself in our mind. The cloud could also be the cloud, which is what we call the internet nowadays. And Jesus could appear in the cloud. Through the cloud, he could come down from the cloud, which means he appears on the internet. And that, when we think about every eye seeing him, everyone seeing him, that is much more likely than him appearing in the sky. And what about the people who are on the other side of the planet? How are they going to see what's in the sky over here if they're on the other side of this huge globe? So it could also metaphorically mean that Jesus appears on the internet. Now look, I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm not trying to convince you that I am Jesus Christ. I'm not going to waste my time doing that. All I'm trying to do is speak honestly with you, because it's really important to speak about what's on your heart. And it's on my heart that I've got a lot of very important information to share. So that's all I want to do. I want to share the information, and I want you to listen to me, because God has shown me how important this information is. So this is why the last video I made was called The Rapture, What the Bible Doesn't Tell You. What the Bible doesn't tell you about the rapture. Because this information about the rapture has been shown to me by God. God has shown me that the rapture is about our hearts moving away from the darkness, being filled with light, being filled with joy, and like a helium balloon, our heart rises up, which means our awareness, our consciousness rises up. We become aware of the heavenly realm. When our mind isn't bogged down in negative thoughts or any thoughts, then we become aware of the light that shines above the clouds. And as our heart is lifted up, we rise above the clouds and see the glorious light shining there. And so it's our heart. The rapture is about our heart being lifted up out of the realms of darkness, away from fear, to the heavenly realm, and perceiving God's kingdom of light. And I said in my last video that the word rapture, if you look in the dictionary, it's all about joy. The word rapture is about joy, ecstasy, celebration. So the fact that the second coming of Christ is called the rapture, the reason the word the rapture was chosen to describe the second coming of Christ is because it's about your heart being filled with joy. Because that, as I've said earlier in this video, that is what lifts your heart up. It's what cleanses it. It's what puts helium in the balloon so your heart can be lifted higher and higher and higher. And so you can move away from the darker realms and perceive the glorious light of God. That is your destiny. This is what God wants for you right now. He wants your heart to be lifted up. He wants that for you. And I know he does. And there's no alternative. There's no alternative. You can't wallow in the darker realms, wallow in fear, hoping that if you just hold out long enough, Jesus is going to come and lift you off the planet. You have to move away from the darkness. You have to move away from the fear. You have to turn your back on all negativity and embrace the light. Embrace the joy. Let your heart be lifted up in joy. And then you come closer to God. So my message, what God is asking me to do, is bring that message to you and to the world. The message of the heart being raptured and filled with joy. So that's what I'm trying to do with my videos, with my uplifting music videos and dance videos. I'm trying to convey joy. I'm trying to bring joy. I'm trying to encourage you to allow joy to bubble up from within you and to celebrate, dance. You know, it says in the Bible, rejoice with great trembling. Trembling is like what happens when we are filled with God's power. Our body quivers and shakes because the power of God is strong, like an electrical current, and our body quivers with power. And so we are called to get to that point where we can feel the power of God and rejoice and celebrate. And that's what I'm trying to do with my dance rapture videos. Because words really can only take us so far. They can satisfy our mind and they can address some of the misunderstandings we have. But to go into that next level, music and movement takes you to that next level. Because words are limited, but music speaks directly to your heart, and it uplifts you, and it gives you energy, and it speaks to your heart, and it gives your heart the freedom to experience things that can only be experienced through music, dance, and celebration. So please, I implore you, look at these dance rapture videos and engage with them, participate, experience it for yourself. Because as I said, God has given me this message to share. And I want to share it with you because I know that it's what your heart is waiting for, what every heart is waiting for. The joy of the Lord, it is your strength and it awaits you. Okay, so thank you very much for listening to this video. I hope you'll look at all my other videos. I've made hundreds of videos. I've got playlists, a playlist of talks, a playlist of dance rapture videos, a playlist of music videos. So go and look at my playlists and look at the talks playlist if you want more information. Look at the dance rapture videos if you want more energy and enthusiasm. If you want to be lifted up in joy, look at the dance rapture playlist. And if you just want to chill out and listen to some really beautiful music that helps you relax and calm down, then go to my beautiful music playlist. Okay, thank you for listening to me. I wish you well, and God bless you.
Enjoyer of joy, singer of songs, with you is where my heart belongs. I give you my all, my care, my love. I from below meet you from above. I dance in your light, I bask in your warmth, I flourish and grow. I give you my form. Nothing more ask I than that which you give, the radiant light which allows me to live. In ecstasy we play, you and I, like the swallow that dances amongst the sky. My song to you I will sing evermore. I am here just for you forever, be sure. If doubt it should come of my love for you, then listen close now to what you must do. Open your eyes, your ears, look around. See my form and hear my sound. Feel the earth beneath your feet, this sacred ground where you and I meet. Feel the rain which falls from my clouds, feeding all life, making stand proud the plants, the trees, the givers of breath, inspiring with life, keeping from death. Supporting my children is all that I do, dependent on this kiss from you. Of this I am sure you cannot resist, my open space for you to exist. I love you completely, O giver of life, to the husband of beauty, from eternity's wife.